Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's tutorial, I decided to do a really cute warm cut crease. I am using the Huda Beauty Warm Brown Obsessions palette. This is the little one, the little palette. And I've actually been wanting to get this palette for a very long time, and I finally got it along with the new nudes palette. So I'm so excited to show you guys how I did this look. And yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you guys like my work, and follow me on all my socials: Snapchat GLAMTRASH MUA, and then Instagram is GLAMTRASH Makeup. All right, enjoy guys. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start off with my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, and to apply this, I'm gonna take my Anastasia Beverly Hills. The brush looks like this. It's called the A6. And I'm gonna dip it into my pot and just apply it directly onto my eye. The next primer that I'm gonna be taking is the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk, and this one is super thick. It's as white as a ghost. I love how it's just so thick and everything just sticks to it, and it shows like the pigment really good. So I'm just gonna work it until it's blended. So I haven't used tape in a long time, but I'm gonna go ahead and bust it out because it's just way easier. You can get this at CVS. This is just like the medical paper tape, and it's like $3 or $4. And I'm gonna apply it to where I want the shadow to be cut off. And that is the same spot where I'm gonna do my liner as well. The palette that I'm gonna be using for today's look is the Huda Beauty. It is the Warm Obsessions palette. This is one of the mini palettes. It's not the complete palette, but I've been wanting this for a long time, and I finally got it. So I'm like, you know what? I think it's time to use it. All right, the first shade that I'm gonna take is the bottom right. It's this one right here. And I'm gonna take a super small shader brush. This one is from Morphe. So I'm just packing that color in the shape of my eye. Next, I'm gonna pick up the Makeup Shack brush called T63. It's like a super small mini blender. I'm gonna start blending the edges of that shadow just to start to soften it up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and dip my brush into the palette and pick up some more eyeshadow. And I'm gonna start to blend it up a little bit higher. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Now the next color that I'm gonna take on the top left, it's this burgundy color right here. And I'm gonna pack it on with that mini brush again. And I'm gonna pack it right over that first color. I'm gonna go in with this brush, the T82 by the Makeup Shack. And I'm gonna start to buff it out as well. And I'm bringing it pretty close to that first color, except I don't wanna hide it. So I'm actually gonna go back with this same brush that I'm using right now into my first color, and I'm just gonna kind of like touch up right here the edges with that orangey brown. And I'm slowly working it up to the eyebrow. I'm gonna go back in with my mini shader brush once more, and I'm actually gonna dip it into that burgundy color and then just intensify it right here, right where I'm gonna cut the crease. I'm gonna go ahead and repack it just to bring back that pigment, because we did blend so much that we lost a little bit of it. So I'm just gently gonna buff it out again without blending it too much this time though. To cut my crease, I'm gonna be using the P. Louise Base in Rumour No.2. I'm gonna go a little bit outside of my tear duct. And I'm going back in when I just gonna pat it. You don't want to like blend it because then it's gonna mix with the eyeshadow and then it'll change the color of the base. So you want to keep that nice clean base and you want to just pat. First, just kind of drop the cut crease down following the natural curve of my eye. And then when I get to the outer part right here, I just kind of make it go towards the top of the ear right here. So I'm gonna lift my chin a little bit and I'm gonna slowly start to flick it out. Oh, somebody's hurt. And then I just have it meet. And that's pretty much it. And then I just check that it's nice and even and it matches the other side. For the two lid colors that I used the nice like cream color right here, and then I used the peachy tones. So I'm gonna take the concealer brush by Dose of Colors, dip it into the cream color, and I'm gonna go ahead and start to pack it onto my crease. Now for the peachy color, I'm gonna use the same brush. I just wiped it off a little bit. And I'm gonna start on the outer portion right here. And then just kind of merge it into the cream color. Again, I'm doing the same technique, making sure that I'm not losing the pigment on my brush. Going back into the palette and dipping it. Now I'm gonna take a different little blending brush like this one. This one's also from Morphe. And I'm gonna take a little bit of that cream color and then I'm gonna start to blend these two colors together. I'm gonna start to kind of marry the two. So I'm bringing that vanilla color into the peachy color, and now I'm gonna take the peachy color and kind of bring it into the vanilla color. And then that will transform. You don't want this part where the two colors meet to look like a line. You want it to kind of like have like a nice transition. You want it to look kind of like a V, like this. You want it to be shaped that way. You don't want it to be like, you know, like a block of peachy and then a block of cream color. You never want to do that because it's just, I don't know, just to me that looks really weird. So I'm gonna take the burgundy colored shadow, which is the one on the right here, this one. Oops. Yeah. This one right here. And I'm gonna take a little tiny little detailing brush and I'm gonna go ahead and start to place it just like if I were to do my winged line. And I'm gonna start to kind of shape it in the shape of a liner. I'm gonna pack it on first and then have it meet the edge of that right there. I'm gonna pack it, pack it, pack it, and then I'm gonna bring it in all the way into the middle right here. Then I'm just gonna blend. For the color that I'm gonna use right here, I'm gonna use the one that is on the right. It's like a reddish, like brick color. And I'm gonna take that just with the same little detailing brush. I just wiped it off a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the inner part right here. And kind of do the same thing. Just pack it first. And then towards the top, just gonna blend it out a little bit. The liner that I'll be using today is from Sam Marcel, and it's their luxurious liner, and it looks like this. It's a felt tip. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do a very, very fine line just to kind of blend my lashes. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop like right here on the edge. It doesn't have to be perfect. My eyelashes are the Bella from Love Lashes. And they look like this. I'm gonna go ahead and pop those on. I'm gonna go ahead and remove my tape. And that is what that's gonna look like right there. I'm gonna be using the Dose of Colors Hit the Road it looks like this. I'm gonna take a pencil brush or just like a small detailing brush, and then I'm just gonna line it on the bottom and blend it out. I think my eyelash is ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop it on. Alright, for my foundation, I'm gonna be using the Il Makiage foundation, and my shade is 120, Woke Up Like This. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it and just add some pumps to my hand. I'm not gonna risk that. I actually love this foundation so much. It's so pretty. Like the finish of it is so pretty. Add some to my nose. I'm gonna go ahead and take my Dose of Colors blender, and I'm gonna go ahead and start to blend that. I'm gonna leave the bottom of my eyes open just because I don't want to add too much product on there. To get into the little tight areas right here, I'm gonna take a synthetic blender brush. I'm gonna dip it into the foundation, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do some little touch-ups there because my beauty blender cannot reach those spots. So I like to take a little blending brush and just get into those little creases. For my concealer, I'm gonna be using the Beauty Blender Bounce Concealer, and my shade is 3.50 W10 Sand. Take the Dose of Colors concealer for my cream contour in the shade 27 Deep. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna go ahead and do a lot of it because I love contour. Kind of working it into the skin. And I'm gonna start to kind of buff it out. Very, very light touch. You don't want to apply too much pressure, otherwise it's gonna come out super, super blotchy. Now I'm gonna do my forehead. So what I actually did is I didn't actually put it right onto my skin like I did here. So for the forehead, because I feel like when I just apply it onto my skin, I feel like the little spots stay there and I can't really blend it out because I have dry skin. So what I did is I put it on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna pick it up with a brush and kind of stipple it onto the brush first, and then just very, very lightly just kind of start to work that into the skin. And I feel like that way it just looks more airbrushed and I get to blend it out a little bit softer versus applying it straight onto the skin and then trying to blend it out. I feel like it's just so much harder that way. So take my blender and then just kind of melt it together. See how soft that looks? It looks like really, really airbrushed. And I'm using the LA Girl Pro Face Powder in the shade Creamy Natural. I'm gonna take my time with this. I don't want to really cake it, but I want to make sure that I'm setting it. So I'm grabbing a little bit of powder at a time. Right. I'm gonna keep going, and I'm actually gonna go over that cream contour and set that too. So I'm gonna go in with my Tarte Cosmetics Park Avenue Princess Bronzing Palette. I'm gonna go ahead and brighten my under eyes. I'm gonna take the banana color from this bronzing palette, which is this one right here. And I'm gonna take a small fluffy brush, any eyeshadow brush will do. And I'm gonna go ahead and pick some of that up, and I'm just gonna kind of dust it underneath my eyes. A little bit more, and a little bit more of that pink undertone too. And I'm gonna add it just right here to the bottom. I'm kind of gonna do a little bit of a triangle. I'm gonna merge it with my bronzer powder and my contour. Do you guys see how that brightened up my face? So right here I used a just a regular concealer that's a little bit lighter than my skin tone. And then if you want to brighten up actually the complexion and the center of the face, you want to go in with a way lighter shade. Okay, let me do it to the other side to kind of see the effect of brightening the under eyes. So when you guys see those tanned or those bronzing palettes that have these like really light shades, that's usually what those are for. They are like highlighting shades. Not actually with shimmer, they're actually matte. They just bring like light to the face. All right, now I'm gonna go back in with the same brush that I applied my bronzer with and my contour with, and I'm gonna take a little bit more of that bronzer, and I'm just gonna melt those like brightening powders together with the bronzing powder together. So I'm just kind of gonna go like over it quickly and just kind of merge them together right here where they meet. You don't want it to be like, you know, really bright here and then like a bronzy here. You want it to kind of merge together. So that's what I'm just doing right here. And then a little bit to my forehead, right there in that area where they meet. Now I'm gonna finish the eyes. So I'm gonna go back into my Huda Beauty palette, and I'm gonna take a little bit of that peachy and orangey brown together. I'm gonna take these two colors together with a blending brush, and I'm just gonna dust right here underneath that pretty warm or burgundy shade that I applied, just to kind of give it a little bit of like an aura. So you can kind of see that this one's like opening up the eye a little bit more just because I blended it more, and then this one is without blending, so it looks a little bit harsher underneath the eye. So doing this is just gonna soften up that drop shadow. So when you apply shadow to the bottom, that's called drop shadow, by the way. So I'm just kind of softening it up, and it's gonna open up the eyes a little bit more and make it look more like a softer blend. Do you guys see that? How I just softened up the eye? All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and set my face now that all of my powders have been applied. And I'm using the Tarte Cosmetics Double Duty Beauty Stay Spray. Fan it off. Wait for it to get a little bit tacky, and then I'm gonna go in with my highlighter. MAC Cosmetics, it's called Hot Damn Eau Celle d'Avignon. It's the Extra Dimension Skin Finish. It's like a nice peachy color. I'm gonna take this Y14 highlight brush from Morphe, and it looks like this. And if you guys want to order this, I do have a code. It's GLAMTRASH. And I'm gonna go ahead and just pat it on first onto the highest point of my cheekbone. Okay, and then I'll just start to buff that out and kind of bring it up to the higher point up here, closer to my eye, and then I'll just bring it into the temple. And then just blend it out. For my lip liner, I'm using the Morphe, what is this? The Love Bite lip liner. My KKW lipstick, and this is the shade Nude number 2. And I'm just gonna pop it on in the center. Is the finished look. I just gotta add some bottom mascara, but what do you guys think? Do you guys like it?